Hi folks, Ryan Williams with No Harm Farms. I am here with my wife, Melissa Williams, the co-founder of No Harm Farm. Melissa, when you and I decided to take this leap and go through this process, what attracted you to the idea of putting together the community of No Harm Farm and moving forward in our dream, if you will?
Well, I was very attracted to the idea of educating. I've had a past in education. I am passionate about educating children. And when I first moved to Michigan, we moved here, 3 years ago? We were out at an event and someone said, "Oh, look at that such and such tree over there." And something simple like, "Look at that maple tree." And I couldn't identify it. I have no idea what a maple tree looks like, or at least I didn't. That's a real problem. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. I grew up in the city. I didn't know what a maple tree looked like. I grew up climbing trees, but I didn't know what it was. And that's a problem. If something we're doing here is wanting to collect maple syrup. How can I identify a maple tree? How can I get that syrup if I can't identify the tree? So I know that other kids just like me grew up not knowing those simple things. So that's very important to me. I want to make sure that we are teaching those things. We want to go out, what plants are edible, which ones are harmful for you, what's toxic, how to identify unhealthy trees. Just simple stuff like that our children should know how to do. Gardening. So many kids don't know how to plant a seed in a garden, just something so simple.
What is your education background, if you don't mind me asking? I know you said you worked in the education field. I know your background. Why don't we share it with the people that are listening?
Sure. I have a bachelor's degree in English. I was working on a master's degree in education. I did not continue it. I was most of the way through it because I just decided I didn't want to teach in a public school. I always was passionate about that education, but I couldn't see myself doing it. And let's see. I worked for the university I graduated from, actually, for 4 years, I believe. And I worked my way through the nursing program, and I ended up as the recruitment and advisement manager. So I helped run that whole department. So I do have a background in setting up schedules, education schedules, the curriculums. I worked with adults then, but I'm really excited to work with kids now as a permanent thing. I've done a lot of volunteer activities with kids, but never a paid position.
You're also very active in the events throughout the Michigan area as well. You have to be being my wife, so
never had a choice.
Can you kind of give a background in your knowledge as far as events, catering, things like that? Because I know under the NHF our plan is to bring some of that out to the community and allow the community actually to come in and join us for some food and good things like that. So can you attest to a little bit of that?
Sure. I've been working with music festivals since we met 5 years ago. My first one I attended was the Harvest Gathering in Lake City, Michigan in September, and then from there I was hooked. 2 years later we moved to Michigan. I was pretty hooked. But I've been working in different capacities myself, running volunteers, safety, parking. I've worked, different. I've helped with getting artist information ahead of time. I've done all kinds of different things for the festival. I also, in my previous job, I was saying at the university I graduated from, I worked at, I ran a lot of the events throughout the year for our students, for our nursing students. And then we do a whole lot of cooking, and I think my pies were on our television channel a few times, and people they're always excited to come here and eat because they just love our food. So we definitely want to throw dinner events here, things like that, where we can do more of our foods. We definitely already have plans to sell, I know, your sauces and my pear butter and apple butter and other desserts and things. So we just we're taking it all by storm.
Right, yeah. We are doing a ton, and we've got a plethora of community and family that have joined in to help us. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit, about some of the folks that have really gotten involved and put their time, effort, and some money into helping see this through.
Absolutely. I know some might want to remain not anonymous, but I'll name a few. Someone donated our evaporator for our maple syrup. Our friend also donated, a wood stove for our heated. We're starting a indoor greenhouse. Joey. He is one of our directors for the nonprofit, helping with the agriculture. He's donated a ton of time and money and all kinds of resources, and he's just been invaluable. And we love having him as part of our team here.
Yep, and there's quite a few other folks that we have had help us along the way. You got Carrie and Jim, and you've got the Missies and the Genevieves, and just a tremendous amount of support behind No Harm Farm. That's without question. What do you see being the future of No Harm Farm over the next few years? And is there anything exciting that is coming up as of late that we can and can't talk about? Like, I know we can't bring up names, but I know we can talk about some of the exciting meetings that we have coming up for No Harm Farm that could really help us in the sustainment.
Absolutely. We are talking to a local distributor who wants to help us get our things out there. We're having a meeting soon, actually. They're going to taste some of our products and talk about our maple syrup production. We just have so many friends and family and friends that are like family and that are joining in. We've gotten tremendous support so far. Need so much more, and we're just a very inclusive team. We want everyone who joins our team will feel like part of a team. There's no hierarchy. They're family. Everyone's we don't have any actual family in this state right now, so we've made our family here. We love our community. We want to support our community, and just as much as they're supporting us already. And
if you could say anything to the people out there, what would it be?
Wow. That's huge. Community. I'd say community is the most important thing. Community is at the heart of sustainability. It's the only way that you can continue to do things. I mean, without that support, without someone to bounce ideas off, to trade with, how far can you really get on your own? The power of we is greater than the power of me.
All right. Well, thank you, Melissa, and love you. And I have to say that, folks, it's required. It's in a contract that you sign when you get married. I'm just kidding. I love to say it. We'll talk to you soon, folks. There's a lot more cool stuff coming from No Harm Farm.